What's going on, 49er faithful, 49er fam, 49er gang? It's your boy 49er Dion back here with another video. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. So with that being said, let's get right on into it. Man, sad day, man. We done lost Debo. Man, to a fracture in his foot. Debo gonna be out for at least 10 to 12 weeks. The thing is they feel like he gonna be on track for the opener. I don't know. You know, this is the same injury that Trent Taylor had, man, and you know it kept him out. They botched his surgery, and he had to go back several times. He wound up missing the whole year. So here's the thing, man. We gotta be able to kind of, unfortunately, prepare as if Debo might not be ready for the start of the season. And with that being said, we got to start looking to other people on the roster just to be able to step up and fill the void until he gets back. I think we'll see Debo. I know in my earlier video I probably was a little premature in my assumption of how long it would be, but I think we'll see Debo back probably at least by maybe, probably say maybe week 2, week 3. The reason being is because if we go out there and we win in games, like, there's no need to rush him back. You want to be able to give him as much time to properly heal, let his body do his thing. He's young, so the beauty of that is that he will wind up healing a little bit faster than the average person. So, with that being said, I figured I'd go ahead and kind of give y'all options on what we have. So, just looking at the current wide receiver room, it's already ridiculously deep. So I'm going to give y'all the wide receivers that we got right now. We have Kendrick Bourne, Dante Pettis, Richie James, Trent Taylor, Jalen Hurd, Jauan Jennings, Brandon Aiyuk, Chris Thompson, Shawn Poindexter, Chris Fink, and Travis Benjamin. Now, out of all of those receivers, we only have 4 people with actual NFL experience. Well, I'm sorry, I'd have to say 5. Literally, we have 5 dudes with NFL experience. That's Kendrick Bourne, Travis Benjamin, Dante Pettis, Richie James, and Trent Taylor. And I'm not going to really count Richie because Richie doesn't play very often. So I'm going to go over these receivers and kind of tell y'all what I think as far as if there's a possibility we might wind up having to not, have Debo on the squad or possibly putting him on the PUP list, which would actually put him out to week 6 at a bare minimum. Depending on his recovery and how things work, how soon he can get the surgery done, all of that comes into play, people. So we can't think that it's just going to be, all right, man, he's got time. We don't have to worry about it because we weren't going to play him in preseason anyway. We still have to make sure that our doctors know that Debo is going to be healthy. He's ready to go. And hopefully that the injury is not re-aggravated in any way and that the surgery isn't botched and he doesn't wind up having the situation Trent Taylor did. So with that being said, this is the reason why we're going to miss Debo. 15 games, 81 targets, 57 receptions, 14.1 yards per catch. He had a 70% catch rate, 3 TDs receiving. Flip to running the ball. This man had, and in total, he had 802 yards receiving. And 481 yards after the catch. The man's yak is nasty because when he gets the ball, he runs like a running back. And he will bowl you over and knock you down in ways you can't imagine. The man just runs angry. He didn't get that nickname Devo for no reason. So, you got to look at it. 14 carries, 59 yards, 11.4 yards per carry. And this was, a lot of it was on jet sweeps, and that's basically what he was doing, but the line was getting into the blocking properly. Juice was getting the blocking properly. Any receivers were getting into their blocking lanes properly. So everything always worked out when he ran the ball. I mean, you don't average 11.4 yards per run on jet sweep because most of the time defenses can understand it, see it, and they diagnose it. And then he'll make you miss too. So he'll get a couple blocks, and then if you leave him out there one-on-one, you can forget it. That man gonna kill you. 3 TDs. So that's 6 touchdowns and almost 1,000 yards of total offense that just unfortunately would be gone like right away. And then when we lose him, we have to go ahead and look at the rest of the roster and say, hey, it's your time to shine. Now, this is a minus for Debo. I want him back. I want him back as fast as we can possibly get him back. But I'm going to tell y'all, man, KB put up his goals for this year. This puts KB in the driver's seat to be the #1 receiver because we don't have another guy on the squad that's going to be able to beat him out for that #1 spot. I know people love Brandon Ayuk and they like what he can bring to the table and they feel like we drafted possibly another Debo. But let me tell y'all right now, Brandon Ayuk ain't finna be out there beating out KB. He's still a rookie. He's still got to learn the offense. You know what I'm saying? He wet behind the ears, so to speak. So I'm going to tell y'all right now, man, KB going to show up. 16 games. The man does not get injured. He just stays healthy. He's never been injured. Never seen him limp off the field, nothing. 16 games, 30 receptions, 358 yards, 11.9 yards per catch, and 5 TDs. Demands money in the end zone. He's money on first downs because he either catches the first down or a touchdown. It's KB's time to shine if Debo misses any time during the season. And I expect them to wholeheartedly give KB the opportunity to be that guy. I like the dynamic, quick twitch kind of guy that Brandon Ayuk is, but I don't want, the coaching staff to start diminishing what KB does. I understand that Debo is definitely a receiver that's so versatile, it's hard to keep that man off the field. But this would be the perfect time for them to feed Kendrick Bourne and let him blossom and explode into the receiver we know he can be as long as he has more opportunities. That's the hard part. If you don't get the opportunities, you can't prove who you are. Next up, I have to say the name, guys, and I have to talk about him. Because he is healthy and he is a viable option. It's Dante Pettis. 11 games played, 11 catches, 9.9 yards per catch. 2 TDs, 1 against the Steelers, 1 against the Cardinals. 5 games he was healthy scratch. You know why? Because we had E-Man Sanders, we had Debo Samuel, we had Kendrick Bourne. Hell, they even signed Jordan Matthews off the street, who did nothing but stay inactive for pretty much most of the games. So you got to think about it, man. He's a viable option. Here's the problem, guys. The man has all the talent in the world. He just ain't got the hunger and the fight for football. That's just pretty much what it is. And then the thing is if you ever tweet him anything or you say that he blocks you. Now I understand from a standpoint you block out the haters, but really? You block people, you block fans, because you can't take criticism to show that you ain't got the fight in you, the dog in you, the whatever it is, the moxie, to quote Austin Powers, what the French call a certain I don't know what. But that you got to be able to have whatever it is in you that says that I'm a football player. I'm going to go out there and do what I need to do. He's scared to go across the middle. He's just a chump, man. That don't make no sense that all the rest of the receiving room evolved as soon as Emmanuel Sanders stepped in the building and D, Maney, 8, whatever you want to call yourself, Dante Pettis. You didn't evolve. You wound up hitting the bench like a brick and you were posted there happy. Giggling, trying to get in on people's little handshakes and dancing and shit. Like, but come on, bro. You supposed to be trying to fight to get back on the field. You got relegated to even. I don't even think I saw you on special teams. And you were okay with that. That's not good, man. It ain't good at all. So next up, Richie has a little bit of experience. He's played a few snaps here and there. But they don't give Richie many snaps. They relegate him to special teams. So he doesn't have a lot of NFL experience. They haven't given him the opportunity to really show what he can do. I think Richie's a really good receiver, and I think he could do some things for us. But the issue is, does the coaching staff think that? Do John Lynch and, all the people on the offensive side of the ball think that? Does Wes Welker think that? Do they believe in him? You know, that's the issue. They never give him opportunities to be on the field. You just don't see the dude. And it's not fair to him to say that he's crappy or he's a trash player, because you can't. You don't know what he really brings to the table. I've seen him in preseason a few years, and he looks great. Him and Nick Mullins had an undeniable connection, man. Richie looked great when he on the field. They just don't give him the opportunities. So it's the same kind of thing that you have with KB to an extent. You got to get a man opportunities to be able to blossom into the player that he can be. You will not learn by standing on the sidelines. No one will ever learn that way. You will learn by repetition and by playing. That's how you learn. That's how you understand the subtle nuances of the offense that Kyle Shanahan brings, because it's so complicated, you know. So Trent Taylor, he's got experience. But the thing is, the man just can't stay healthy. You know, all last year, he was having the best training camp. Had that same injury Debo got, that man didn't play a snap. And the year before, you know, the same year we drafted him with George Kittle, he showed us, man, he automatically had an instantaneous connection with Jimmy G. We loved it. We were like, cool, man, it's going to be the dopest little slot guy we got, man. He's going to be just like Wes Welker. What happened? Wound up getting injured. So he's limited in the games that he played. So he has experience, but he doesn't have a ton of it. So we need him to be able to stay healthy to be the slot guy that we need. Because if Debo has to miss time, you got to think about the lineup. Look at the lineup. So you'll have KB, Brandon Ayuk, or Jalen Hurd, and Trent Taylor in the slot. You never know. If Trent Taylor doesn't wind up healthy, I can tell you right now, they throw Brandon Ayuk in the slot, you start Jalen Hurd and KB on the outside, and you just say, fuck it, you can run with it. You know, and that makes my next point. Jalen Hurd, no NFL experience, really, except for one preseason game where we saw everything we needed to see as fans. We said, this dude is going to be nasty. And what happened? He had a back injury. And that back injury derailed his whole season. The man couldn't even fly to the playoffs, guys, because they felt like that would re-aggravate the injury. Now he's healthy. He's been catching balls. He looks great. You know, somebody joked and said they thought that was Kyle Shanahan with dreads out there, you know, running routes. But it looks like a promising, you know, first season for Jalen Hurd. And I really hope that it is, man, because we need him. We're going to need him to be healthy, you know. Brandon Ayuk, rookie. He just got here. He don't even know the playbook yet. No real experience. We saw what he could do in college. We heard Herm Edwards say the reason that Brandon didn't get a lot of opportunity was because N'Keal Harry was there at ASU and the focus was on him. So as soon as N'Keal Harry leaves and gets drafted by the Patriots, boom, we shift the focus to Brandon Ayuk, and you see the explosion of a player that was just probably sitting there waiting for his turn. Now, I love the talent, I love the potential, but potential ain't got shit on experience. No NFL experience, man. Jawan Jennings, 7th round pick, man. Love the dude, love his fight, love his moxie. He's got dog in him, everything. But our undrafted free agent, Jared Maiden, made that boy look pedestrian as fuck in that game when when Alabama played Tennessee. He was in that ass. And there was nothing that Jawan Jennings could do. But it doesn't stop the fact that Jawan still got a lot of fight in him, a lot of dog in him. He didn't let that game destroy him or anything. He played his heart out. He did what he could. So, you know, the next receiver, Chris Thompson, been relegated to the practice squad. Ain't never did shit for us. Probably ain't never going to do shit for us. Sean Poindexter, same thing. Relegated to the practice squad. Ain't never did shit for us. Probably won't do shit for us. And he was injured, if I'm not mistaken. He wound up getting injured, you know, last year. And then we got Chris Fink, the undrafted free agent out of Notre Dame. People think he could be like a Trent Taylor. So we don't need 2 Trent Taylors. We only need 1. You know. So that leaves us literally with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 receivers. Man, am I counting right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. And then last but not least, you got Travis Benjamin. Benjamin knows the system. Benjamin was with Kyle Shanahan when he was in Cleveland. But Benjamin's more of a return specialist. He's a stretch the field kind of guy because he has speed. But then at the same time, it's like that's pretty much all he brings to the table. Travis Benjamin ain't never been a 1,000-yard receiver, and nobody ever really expects him to do that. So if he makes the squad, it'll strictly be to take Marquise Goodwin's spot because that's what he was supposed to be doing for us, but he couldn't stay healthy either. That's why now he's with the Fly. Eagles fly. So you have 11 receivers that you can choose from, but I can tell you right now, it's not going to be 11 receivers that make this squad. You're going to have 6 at the max. And those 6 most likely would be Deebo Samuel, Kendrick Bourne, Trent Taylor, Jalen Hurd, Juwan Jennings, and Brandon Ayuk. Yeah. Those are the guys that I see that make the squad. Now, with Deebo down, yes, there might be an open roster spot, but I think they even hold his roster spot up for him because they don't need anybody else. Let me tell you this. Chris Thompson, Sean Poindexter, and Chris Finker are on the bubble and they're on the outside looking in. And I'm going to go ahead and throw Richie and Travis Benjamin in there too. Those 5 dudes are on the outside looking in. And the reason that I put Richie there is because Richie is probably going to be fighting with Travis Benjamin and possibly even Brandon Ayuk for return duties at a bare minimum. Ayuk ain't going nowhere. He a first-round draft pick. You don't draft somebody in the first round and not let them make the squad. You can just stamp the fact that that man is there. You can stamp the fact that KB is there. You can stamp the fact that Deebo is there. You already know because of what Jalen Hurd did just in that one preseason game that they like what they could possibly get out of that man. You know, they're all in Tennessee working out with Jimmy G. And, I mean, there's Jimmy, there's Nick Mullins. You got pretty much most of the receiving core there. Deebo's probably going to go ahead and have his surgery and get himself into rehab as quick as possible so he can get back and we don't skip a beat and we can continue this revenge tour. But we may have to, think about life without Deebo for possibly at least the first quarter of the season, depending on how his rehab goes. Because we don't know, people. We truthfully don't. And anybody out there that has more information, by all means, drop it in the comments and share it. I'd love to know exactly what's going on. But we have to wait for surgery to be scheduled. He has to have the surgery. He has to go ahead and take the time off. And he's got to rehab. There's a process to this. And you don't just get up from a Jones fracture in your foot and just be like, hey, I'm ready to play football. It doesn't work like that. So preparing for life without him means that we have to have veteran guys stand up. And the only guy really that is on our squad that is a veteran that has any type of real presence, honestly, from looking at everybody on this squad, is Kendrick Bourne. Trent Taylor hasn't really played enough. He's been on the squad for a couple of years, the same length of time that George Kittle has. But he hasn't really played. He's been on the sidelines a lot of his career. Whole last year, he spent it on the sideline. The other 2 years he played, he was riddled by injuries. So he only played a certain amount of games. So Deebo needs to take E-Man's spot and be the leader, even if it's just being vocal for that time. KB has to step into E-Man's role on the field and say, hey, I'm the vet. I'm going to show you how it's done. I'm going to show y'all what needs to be done and how to go out there and be a consummate professional. And what the coaching staff has to do is not get caught up in seeing somebody so flashy and overly talented that you don't pay attention to the fact that you need a veteran presence on that field that knows what they're doing. Because sometimes that can happen. I'll say this, though. If we do wind up starting the season without Deebo, if Kendrick doesn't start, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. And I'm not going to be disappointed in him. I'm going to be disappointed in the coaching staff. Because they went with the hotter, more flashier thing. I like Brandon Ayuk. I like what he can bring to the table. So you might probably see him on the field. Does Shanahan's offense technically call for an actual number 1 receiver? Usually it does not. Because why? He can make you put anybody on the field there, everybody's interchangeable. Why do you think we had 4 running backs last year that could do anything? Jeff Wilson Jr. came in the first, I think, 2 to 3 to 4 games and scored 4 touchdowns. All of them goal line touchdowns. Why? Because he was right there. That's how good he was. He came in, he scored that touchdown to help us win that game against Arizona. Ran that route, boom. The ball was behind him, people. It was not thrown in front of him where it should be. That ball was thrown behind him. The man he twisted his body. He caught the ball, took off straight toward the end zone. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the offense doesn't call for a number one guy, but the unfortunate situation is that if we are going to start someone, I really feel like it's KB's time, man. I feel like he should be the starter, and we work everybody else in and let them slowly, gradually, take steps forward and toward, the toward basically getting their playing time and earning their playing time and understanding the playbook from a standpoint where it's great. I want anybody that can make plays on the field. Don't get me wrong. But I think right now, it's time for Kendrick Bourne to step up and shine. That's all I got for this video, y'all. Another quick note for the 49ers. There's a strong safety out there on the market, and he don't want to be where he is right now. His name is Jamal Adams. So Jamal Adams has a list of places he would love to be traded to, and San Francisco is one of those places. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'd give up Kwaski T or Jimmy Ward in a heartbeat for Jamal Adams. I really would. And y'all can say that I'm wrong for that, but I'm going to tell y'all I'd give up Kwaski T or Jimmy Ward. I don't care either one of them. I'd give them up in a heartbeat for Jamal Adams. That man is a beast, and he'd be a ridiculously great addition. We're going to have a ton of cap space next year. We have a lot of people that are going to be free agents. So, to be honest with you, if we could, by some freak of nature chance, just get George Kittle's deal done and be able to fix it to a point where he's good and his agent ain't out there running us ragged, trying to ask us for everything under the sun. The man probably wants, a jacuzzi and a jet to go along with the damn deal. But if we could somehow get that done and then go ahead and get Jamal Adams in a trade, bro, I'd look, man, you want to come to, all right, look, my New York, yeah, what y'all gonna give us if we go ahead and give you Jamal? Look, man, I'm gonna give you a second round pick in Jimmy Ward. That wasn't a wasted pick. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I'll give you a second rounder in Jimmy Ward. I'm not gonna give you my first rounder. Because you got a talent in Jimmy Ward. When Jimmy Ward's healthy, he's one of the best safeties in the league. He ain't no Jamal Adams, though. So, that was just a little extra sauce on the video, man, because I saw that and I said, yeah, it would make sense for him to come to us. And you think about it. With that man in the back, ooh, talk about a revenge story. This defense just would get ridiculously better adding Jamal Adams. Ridiculously. So, that's all for me for right now, man. I'm going to hit y'all with another video probably in an hour or so, because I'm thinking about some Colin Kaepernick stuff that I want to talk about. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later. But as of right now, man, like I said, it's time for other receivers to step up, bro. Time for KB to shine. Time for Jalen and Trent to stay healthy and get on that field and show us what they could really do. Time for Juwan to go ahead and show us he got that real fight in that dog in him. Time for Brandon to go ahead and show up and show out. We cannot allow one player being injured to derail our trip and our path to the Super Bowl. This player is a big player. He is a really big part of our offense, and I love him to death, and I want him to get healthy, and I want him to be able to come back, and help us go ahead and win this damn Super Bowl. But we got to prepare that possibly it could be, week 2 before we see Deebo Samuel on the field. Maybe even week 4. We don't know. But if those time frames do come into play, it's because that they're taking their time with that injury and saying, we don't want to repeat a Trent Taylor. We want to make sure you are fully healthy. So when you step on that field, you can put your foot in the ground and go. But he's been working out really hard this offseason. I wish Deebo nothing but the best. I wish him a blessed and speedy recovery and a blessed and safe surgery. And for him and his family, I hope that everything works out. And definitely for us, as Niner faithful, I hope that it all works out for us as well. Y'all stay Niner faithful. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful evening. I'll be back a little bit later with another video. Peace.